Hey strong people, Kalle Beck here from StartingStrongman.com with some unofficial fan fiction of what we think might be happening at World's Strongest Man, and just having some fun with it. For official results, go to the World's Strongest Man Facebook page. They have an event for $2.99. You can get the official results and backstage info from Nick English and Martins Lisis. It's great fun. I really like their hats. So, already went over the loading race. This is day one, World's Strongest Man. Went over the loading race in a prior video. You can find that, the link below. But I might just go back over it. So, Group 1 had Maxime Boudreau, followed by Brian Shaw, followed by Travis Ortmeyer, Gavin Bilton, then Ivar's Smoke Stellis in the loading medley, which was 2 barrels, big wine barrel looking things that I think were about 100 kilos / 220 pounds, into the big old anvil that was 275, into a frame carry that was 825 pounds. They've used it at World's Strongest Man before, but it used to have thinner handles, and now it had a little bit nicer, probably about 1.25 inch handles. So Group 1 had squat. They squatted down onto where the big drums hit on a box. Usually that's been a metal thing with a pad on it. This looked like it was all foam pad made by Rogue. Looked really good and a lot more comfortable for the athletes, I bet. They would have to say that because I'm not the one out there deadlifting 700 pounds plus. They are. But from my view, watching it on my phone, little clips I see here or there, it looked more comfortable and a big step up in equipment. So in that group, Brian Shaw got 10 reps. Tying him was Ivar's Smoke Stellis with 10. And based on that Ivar's had to go first, based on getting last in the loading medley, I would imagine that Brian just went to 10 and maybe could have got one more, but wasn't worth pushing it. He knows that tying would still put him right over Maxime, who got 3rd place with 6 reps. And then Gavin Bilton got 5 reps, followed by Travis Ortmeyer with 3. So after day 1, Brian Shaw is in the lead in Group 1 with 8.5 points, followed by Maxime Boudreau, just a half point behind. Then followed by Ivar Smoke Stellis with 5.5. Then Travis and Gavin both have 4. So Brian Shaw is in the driver's seat with Fingal's Finger in day 2 and the overhead medley. Have a hard time thinking anyone's going to do better than Brian in the fingers. I think Maxime could possibly be faster on the overhead medley, but I think it really depends on what implements it has. If it's more circus dumbbells, I give the edge to Brian. If it's more barbells and axle, maybe Maxime. But Maxime's strongest overhead event is by far the log. I'm going to say it's probably going to be Brian making it out of Group 1 overall, and then Maxime and Ivar's doing a stone off, which will be a battle. Both of them did very well in the stones. I think the 2nd and 3rd times behind Tom in the stone offs last year. On to Group 2. Tom Stoltman absolutely obliterated the medley for day 1, winning it, followed by Mark Felix, who had a time just behind Brian Shaw in it. Of course, they're in different groups, but it's fun to compare how they did overall. To get 2nd, followed by Evan Singleton, then Johnny Hansen, then Trey in the loading race. They had a deadlift. It looked like they had, the big barrels again, big globes. And tying in it was Tom Stoltman and Mark Felix. Mark Felix is the ageless wonder. And after 2 events and day 1, Group 2, Tom Stoltman is in 1st place with 9 reps. Mark Felix in 2nd. 9 points. Mark Felix with 8 points. Followed by a tie for 5 with Evan Singleton and Trey Mitchell, and Johnny Hansen with 3. Evan Singleton got 5 reps in the deadlift. Johnny Hansen got 3 reps. Train poll will be interesting. Don't know how Tom has improved on that event. He seems to have improved on a few things, including his grip, because he did very well in the 825-pound frame carry, which everyone else struggled with. Only, I think, like 7 out of 25 finished it at all, including people with are known for good grip, like Janashia didn't even finish it. So maybe he's also improved in his vehicle pulls. Felix will struggle in the overhead medley, of course, but he might still be in a position to get into a stone off. And I think Evan Singleton, if he can, kind of claw back, would be happy to go against Mark Felix in a stone off instead of Trey Mitchell. Not sure if he still beats Mark, though. Johnny Hansen looks to be pretty far behind, but there's more events to come, and you never know. Group 3 had an interesting result with Robert Oberst winning the loading race, loading all 3 implements and then carrying the frame 11 meters. I think it's a 12-meter course, so he almost finished it. Followed by JF Karan, who went 10.55, so just behind Obi. Then Shivakov, then Ithor, then Luke Richardson, who had to withdraw due to tearing a bicep, I believe, on one of the barrels. Unfortunate. Hopefully he heals up quickly. He's young and definitely has enough time to come back and still compete for the title of World's Strongest Man in the future. Onto the squat lift. We had even more interesting results. A lot of ups and downs here. JF Karan with 11 reps, besting Mikhail Shivakov with 10. JF would have went after Shivakov and known the amount to beat. Robert Oberst got 0. So it being a squat or a deadlift did not seem to help him here. Hopefully there's no injury. I don't believe there is, from what I've heard from people that are there. Some people say he kind of slipped, but either way he got 0 points and only has 5 points after day 1 and 2 events, but he's still in a pretty good spot if you think about it. Ithor got 7 reps, which is still a strong showing, for 3 points. So after 2 events, end of day 1, we have JF Karan with 9 points, Mikhail Shivakov 7, Robert Oberst and Ithor tied for 5, and Luke Richardson has withdrawn. Then they have train pull and overhead, which people would say would both favor Robert Oberst in, if historically he's been pretty good at harness pulls, because the train pull is basically just like a truck pull. I think they have a lead rope. They're not doing it with the tracks, unfortunately. So it's basically just like another truck pull. So he's been pretty good at truck pulls in the past, and he's definitely big, maybe the biggest he's ever been at Worlds. So hopefully that helps. And it's been an event that Mikhail Shivakov and JF Karan have historically struggled with, especially it's supposed to be hotter tomorrow. Hopefully that event gets done early before the big heat of the day happens. So he can make up some points, and if it's basically all you have to do is get third. So as long as he places above Ithor, he gets to do a stone off, probably against Shivakov. And the overhead's a good event for him, but Ithor, I think Ithor might bring it on the train pull and the overhead medley. We will see. I think JF Karan's in a good cruising position in the group 3 though right now. If Oberst could have got a couple reps in the squat, maybe he could have contended and won the group, but that didn't happen. Group 4, Janashia won event 1, followed by Terry Hollins, then Pritchett, then Chris Von Durlen, then Adam Bishop. Surprising event for Bishop. I don't think, it looks like he wasn't able to complete the frame as he did all 3 loading medleys, so maybe he just wasn't able to pick up the frame, which is kind of surprising. But Janashia, also surprising that Janashia didn't finish it considering his grip. I mean, and Terry and Pritchett all have good grip, so that shows how hard that thing was to grip. it's kind of hot, hot out there, and after doing 3 other events, an 825-pound frame in the heat is a tough event. Just doing that alone, having to carry 2 barrels and an anvil, heart rate's crazy. Look, that's why you see some of the videos. Doesn't look like anyone was hustling, because it's a nice mix of a medley. They had 3 front carries basically into then a very heavy frame, so it's a good mix of speed and just grip and brute strength. That's why, like, you can contest strongman in a way where it tests speed and agility and strength, but not make it just who had the fastest feet. And that event definitely did that in event 1. Anyways, on to the deadlift. Konstantin Janashia ended up with 8 reps, which is a solid performance, and that got him 2nd place. Terry Hollins, there's some reports he probably was holding his bicep a little bit after the first event, but he's still chugging along. He's been doing this for 15 years, so if a bicep is bothering him, he's been at Worlds, this is 15th year, I believe, so he's used to it and can soldier on. 6 reps for 3 points, and 3rd in the event. Adam Bishop with 9 reps, and I called this one. In a group full of really good deadlifters, Adam Bishop, when it's for reps in a certain rep range, seems to know how to just get that 1 rep needed. But he would have went first, so he set this pace. So but he just, he knows how to time it all right, and he's just a strong puller. He got 9 for 1st place, which he really needed after getting last in the first event. Jerry Pritchett with a surprising 5 reps to get him 2 points. If it's a strong deadlift group when Jerry Pritchett only gets 2 points in the deadlift in his group. And Chris Von Derlin got 4 for 1. Hopefully Jerry's not injured, or maybe he just, hopefully, and he can continue to go on. They have fingers and overhead medley tomorrow. Fingers is a good event for Terry Hollins. But I really see Janashia winning this one. I think Jerry could come back a bit with fingers in the overhead medley. He looked good in the log medley last year. But, maybe he'll end up being Terry and Adam in the stone-off. We will see. Group 5, another very interesting group, because it has the reigning champion Alexi Novokov in it, who ended up getting 4th in the loading medley. He didn't do terrible if you look at it. So Novokov did all 3 implements plus took the frame 9.31 meters, which would have won him the event in Group 4, which, Group 4 has, 4, people that have made the World's Strongest Man finals. He just happened to be in a group where 4 people total through 4 groups finished the medley, and in Group 5, 3 people finished it. And who's really showing out this year and looks the most improved is Luke Stoltman. Kevin Ferris won the loading medley, followed by Luke, which, and who finished it. So his grip, it looks like, both of the Stoltmans have been working on grip, knowing it. And Bobby Thompson finished it as well. Such a bull of a man Bobby Thompson is. Then Alexi Novokov, followed by Irvin Tuch. Then on to the deadlift. We had 9 reps by Bobby Thompson. Bobby is a monster. He and Adam Bishop had the most reps out of any group on the deadlift with 9. That gives Bobby 8 points, and then a big 3-way tie, which is not that surprising, with 6 reps between Kevin Ferris, Luke Stoltman. Luke Stoltman getting 2nd place in the deadlift, 6 reps, tying Kevin and Novokov. Huge improvements from Luke. He hasn't won any events yet, but he has some strong events to go. He's looking really good. Definitely looking like the most improved. Looks like you watch all their, it's hard to tell off of YouTube videos, but it looks like Luke and Tom have put in the work over the last 7 months. So, and then, yeah, so after 2 events, Group 5, we have Kevin Ferris, 8 points, Bobby Thompson, 8 points, Luke Stoltman just behind in 7. Talk about a tight group. Group 5 is the toughest group. We're seeing that right now. Alexi Novokov, the returning champion, in 4th place out of 5 people in Group 5. Is he in trouble of not making the finals? When's the last time that happened where someone won then didn't make the finals the next year? But he is only 2 points behind 3rd, and all you really have to do is get 3rd. And he's pretty good at stones. He did really good against Trey in the stone over bar in 2019, getting 14 reps to Trey's 15. So, you know, he's in a good position. Still, it's not over, but it's not an easy road. I looked at this and I'm like, why? Novokov, you look at the events and the people, and it's like, woof. He kind of cruised into the finals last year and did well, and then this year he's got some killers in his group, and everyone came to play. I think you have Bobby Thompson and Luke Stoltman, probably the most improved from 7 months ago. Everyone showed up in Group 5. And I think if you have the returning champion, you're like, I don't even need to get the finals to prove that I'm stronger than the world's strongest man, is what people are thinking. And that's what we're seeing here. And Toots is following up. But, man, a lot can happen. I think they have fingers in the overhead medley. Hard to say how those events will go. We have, some of the shorter athletes, shorter, stockier guys in Group 5 with Ferris, Novokov, and Bobby Thompson. I have a feeling it's going to be a good event for Luke in the overhead medley as well. Novokov is fast at overhead medley, and he's a dumbbell monster, where that's not Luke's strongest event. Maybe we'll make up some points there. Maybe we'll see Novokov look like Marius did on the fingers. Not the first year, but after that, where he trained him like crazy and came back. We will see so much exciting stuff. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and can't wait for day 2.